Jaya Girivaradari Gopinandavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Kunja Vihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Gopinandavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Gopinandavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Kunja Vihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jai Shri Shri Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Damodar Ki Jai Itai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutal Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pachane Nirvishesha Shunyvari Pastate Deshatane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Devamita Swami Namane Pachane Purvirakshan Cha Bhaktachar Vivinata Parartita Pikarunyam Yasya Sarve Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, lucky yes, 6th canto, chapter 11. I think Parijat asked me to do 26 and 27. The last verse of the chapter is 27. There's no purport. So hope that's all right with everybody. Double dose of sweet nectar. Text number 26 says, Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga stanyam yata vatsatara kshud arta priyam priyeva vyushitam vishana manor didrikshate tvam. Word for word translation says, Ajata paksha, who have not yet grown wings. Eva, like Mataram. When we say Eva, then we know there's going to be some beautiful poetry, some analogy, some beautiful comparison for us to contemplate. Mataram, the mother. Kagaha, small birds. Stanyam, the milk from the udder. Yata, just as. Vatsatara, the young calves. Ksud arta, distressed by hunger. Priyam, the beloved or husband. Priya, the wife or lover. Eva, like. Vyushitam, who is away from home. Vishana, morose. Manaha, my mind. Aravinda aksha, a lotus-eyed one. Didrikshate, wants to see. Tvam, you. Oh, there's another beautiful verse. What is that one? Sri Yashoda Stanandaye. Hold on. It's all coming back to me now. Sri Yashoda Stanan something. Yeah, wow. Oh, translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is the demon, Vitrasura, speaking and saying such incredible things about his meditation on the Lord. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds have not yet developed their wings, always look for their mother to return and feed them. As small calves tied with rope await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. Or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Nice. Purport by His Divine Grace. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto him. The examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder. And a chaste, devoted wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of her beloved husband. We'll read text number 27 as well. Mamottama shloka janeshu sakyam samsara chakre brahmata svakarmabhi tvanmaya yatma tmaja daragehesh asakta chitasya nanatha bhuyat. Mama, my Uttama Shloka Janeshu, among devotees who are simply attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sakyam, friendship, Samsara Chakre, in the cycle of birth and death, Brahmataha, who am wandering, Svakarma be, by the results of my own fruitive activities, Tatmayaya, by your external energy. Atma to the body. Atmaja, children. Dhara, wife. Geheshu, and home. Asakta, attached. Chitasya, whose mind. Na, not nata, O my Lord. Bhuyat, may there be. Translation. O my Lord, my Master, I'm wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. Thus end, forgive me, dear devotees, for the oral orchestra. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the sixth canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Transcendental Qualities of Vitrasara. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cham. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nice. So, by way of analogy, Dhritarashtra is helping us to understand how to yearn for the Lord. Are we yearning? Raise your hand if you're yearning. No? That's okay. That's why we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, so we can learn to yearn. Oh, Tarika Prabhu is yearning. Please teach us, Prabhu. But for the rest of us, we can learn to yearn. We really can learn to yearn. We've learned, most of us, I'm guessing, by this point, we've learned the philosophical necessity, the absolute truth as being the supreme person, right? You can learn Kalam's cosmological argument for the necessity of the creator of the universe, because the universe has a beginning, there must be some creator, but because that creator is necessary, it does not have a beginning, and that creator therefore must be purposeful to produce something which is, well, finely tuned and organized. I mean, we can learn all of the philosophy, the technicality. We can learn the ritual, the technology by which we become more attached to Krishna. We can learn that. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Vidhi means some rules to follow, the ways to engineer the consciousness so that Krishna is in the forefront of our meditation instead of meditating on the sense objects. We can learn that as well. And we can learn how to participate in community. It's not something that comes automatically, by the way. If you're thinking like, well, here I am, it should all just flow like honey. No, that's also something to be learned. How to be part of a growing spiritual community, to contribute to make it even better. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it is every sane man's duty that after having joined The parampara, uh, one must make it better. He didn't say parampara. Did he say parampara? Anyway, joining the community of devotees, he said one must make it even better. So we can learn that as well. But for those of us who've been practicing bhakti a little bit, we might also be wondering, can I learn to yearn? Can my heart learn to feel a strong emotional attachment, like a baby bird waiting for the mother? I mean, that's a strong feeling. Probably everyone at some point has seen some baby birds in a nest. Or if you haven't seen in real life, then you've probably seen some video of the little birds. Cheep, 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 cheep. That's all they do. There's nothing else going on. They're not planning anything else. Uh, can we yearn for Krishna in the same way? It's possible. This is what Vitrasara wants us to learn how to feel. This is what Srila Prabhupada wants us to learn how to feel. Not just believe, oh Lord, I believe, and you are this, and I am that, and save me. I mean, that's a good sentiment. Save me. But we should understand that at the root of that sentiment is a yearning for attachment in love, not just to be saved. We're all meant for destruction anyway. But the success of our bhakti is when we feel strong emotional attachment to the Lord. This is called bhakti bhava. What's being described here is bhava, particularly the bhava of, as described by Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the bhava known as lalasamayi prarthana, longing, longing for connection with the Lord, longing for direct devotional service. So we should learn how to feel some of that intense longing by way of these examples. Little birds, they've got nothing else. Cheep, 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 cheep. The only thing they're interested in is when will the mother return? Imagine the intensity of the feeling. We're thinking, oh, Krishna, I'm patient. If you want to show yourself at some point later, I mean, that's fine. I'm having a good time. The prasadam's nice, and kirtan's pretty nice most of the time. And devotees are okay most of the time. So don't worry, Krishna. Take your time. I'll probably still be here in a couple of years, a couple lifetimes. That's not the yearning of the little bird waiting for the mother. The little bird is nothing else. Nothing else to contemplate. We want to yearn like this. We want to learn how to yearn like this. That every moment I want to be filled with devotional service. And every moment that's not filled with devotional service, I'll be yearning for devotional service. Like Vitrasara is saying, I yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Perhaps he's not doing it at this moment. I mean, he's performing vandanam, prayers. That's devotional service. But like most of us, Vitrasara's got a job. He had a job to do. We read in this chapter, I was doing his job. Might not be an occupation we are interested in, but some people have to do it, fight each other. So you can say technically he's a working man. He's got his duties and it's got his ups and its downs, his pros and his cons. But he's yearning for direct devotional service. Very similar to us. We can relate. So really think about this analogy. Baby birds. They just picture yourself in the nest and you don't know what's going on. All you can see is the little space around you. You look over the edge, death and destruction at any moment. Maybe the birds don't know that so well. That's why many of them fall out of the nest. But all you've got is a little space. And when will mother return? That's a strong feeling of bhakti bhava that we should learn by hearing from devotees who feel that way. The next analogy given is that of a small calf tied with rope, awaits anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. And here's one we might even get to see. Um, I know for a while we've been feeding the calves with bottled milk, which is nice. The calves get very excited, but it's not the same as when a mother comes over. I don't know if we've done that at Gita Nagari for some time, but I used to milk the cows, and then we'd milk Mocha, that beautiful dark brown lady. We'd milk Mocha halfway and then walk her over to where a couple of the calves were. And Mocha especially would just she was just so eager to go and feed these calves. And the calves, of course, would be running, even though they can be pretty rough, you know. Calves are strong. And they'll bite on the udder and they'll pull really hard, but Mocha would have this very peaceful look on her face, and the calves would be so excited. And it was always such a pleasure to witness that attachment between mother and calf. Maybe Agari Krishna can tell me if any of the calves are being fed from their mothers. Of course, getting the bottled milk is nice, as long as they're getting that colostrum and some of the milk, then they'll be healthy and loved and cared for by the devotees. But it's nice when they can get some from a mother cow as well, straight from the udder. And so that attachment, that feeling that the mother cow has for the calf, that's called Vatsalya rasa. And I wonder if everybody has noticed that the term we use in Sanskrit to describe the mood of parental affection is Vatsa, which means a calf, a baby cow. Vatsalya rasa is the feeling that one has seeing a little calf who wants to drink the milk, that natural feeling of affection. Oh, I should care for this little creature and should help it and love it. That feeling of affection is Vatsalya rasa. Herein, uh, Vritrasura wants to feel taken care of as a calf. So he's not feeling the Vatsalya rasa. He's feeling Lala Samayi Prarthana, the longing for perfection, and he's feeling a Dasya rasa, the desire to be directly engaged in service as a recipient within the Dasya rasa. There can be the feeling of the Lord is my protector, the Lord is my caregiver, I am the child, I am the calf, and the Lord is my mother. Uh, there's a beautiful verse from Rupa Goswami which describes a bit more of that feeling I'd like to share with you, wherein he says that, "O Krishna, the very fragrant river of your loving pastimes, which is a million times sweeter than nectar, flows within Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. But instead of drinking at that river, the calf of my mind prefers to enter a cave and drink the poison of sense gratification." Little calves, they wander off, and because they're a little bit dumb, they might start eating something that's not good for them or drinking something that's not good for them. So Rupa Goswami is saying that my mind is like a calf that's wandered off, drinking the poison of sense gratification. And he goes on to say, "O Krishna, O Lord of the calves, please quickly curb the calf of my mind with the stick of your mercy and bring it back to the river of your pastimes." So this is a bhava, but this is the dasya bhava, still feeling I am the servitor of the Lord. So please, Lord, with the stick of your mercy, please bring me back to the river of your pastimes. And this is what Vitrasara is feeling as well, wanting to have the shelter and the protection of the Lord, feeling dependent in every way, longing and yearning for that opportunity to serve, to be in direct connection with Krishna. So that's the dasya rasa. It's not the same as the vatsalya rasa. The vatsalya rasa is when the tables are turned and the devotee feels, I need to take care of Krishna. Krishna, he's a little boy and he's hungry and I need to feed him and maybe I should bring the stick. Here, Rupa Goswami is praying, Krishna, please, with the stick of your mercy, curb the calf of my mind. But as we know, the pinnacle, the shining example, the apex of the Vatsalya rasa, Mother Yashoda, she brings the stick to Krishna. She's not praying, "Oh Krishna, with the stick of your mercy, curb my restless mind." No, Yashoda, she brings the stick and says, "Krishna, I'm going to beat you with this stick because you've been naughty." She doesn't, of course. I'm sure you all know the story. As is always the case with mothers, she becomes overwhelmed by affection for her son and drops the stick. And Krishna's cheeky words after after Mother Yashoda caught Krishna. You all know the Damodar Leela, of course, how Krishna stole some butter and was feeding it to the monkeys, and then Yashoda came with a stick, and so he ran away, and he was running outside in the courtyard, and Yashoda finally caught her, even though she's Sumadhyama, wide-waisted. She's not some skinny Kali Yuga supermodel. But somehow she was able to chase Krishna and capture him. And then Krishna, saying so many cheeky words, convinced her to put down the stick. And one of the cheeky things that she said, Yashoda says to Krishna, "You're a thief, a chore." Chore means thief. And Krishna says, "If I'm a chore, then I get it from your side of the family." Because Mother Yashoda's, I can't remember if it's her father or her grandfather, has the name something something chore. I can't remember. I heard it from Dinabandhu Prabhu. So he's only a little boy, but he's so cheeky. He says, "Well, if I'm a chore, if I'm a thief, then I get it from your side of the family." And Madhishara goes, "Oh, you're just so naughty. You're just like the monkeys." And then Krishna says, "That's right. I am just like a monkey, and I'm going to run away into the forest and live with my monkey friends." And then Yashoda thinks, "Wow, Krishna, he's not ordinary. He might actually do something like that. He's not just talking. He could actually run away into the forest and live with the monkeys. So I'd better tie him up before he disappears." So she's thinking, "I need to serve Krishna for his protection, for his safety." That's the Vatsalya rasa. Here, what's being described by Vritrasura is the Dasya rasa, but it also has its moods. It also has affection. Dasya rasa doesn't just mean, you're the slave master and force me to do something. No, Dasya is an ecstasy. Dasya prema. It's an ecstasy, a feeling like a baby bird in the nest or a small calf waiting to connect with the mother. Or, the third part of this analogy, as a morose wife whose husband is away from home, always longs for him to return and to satisfy her in all respects. I can't really speak to this analogy because it's always my wife who leaves home. I'm the one who stays home. But sometimes she'll travel, visiting family and her guru in Kazakhstan. And we get to feel that ecstasy of separation. Highly recommended to all the married couples or soon to be married couples. A little distance makes the heart grow fonder. Isn't that right? Some of my older Prabhus here. A little distance makes the heart grow fonder. Feeling a bit of separation and longing to be connected with the lover. It's an intense feeling that Vitrasara wants to experience with the Lord. That's the big kicker. We like that feeling with our partners or our spouses, but to feel that with Krishna, he's been away for so long. When will I see him again? Jamavati says, yes. When will I see him again? When will I be with him or her? Very good for your relationship, dear devotees. I think that Anandini and I, we spent a lot of time apart, which has been really good because we got together in LA, Los Angeles, and then I was summoned back to Australia. Nandini came some months later, so our relationship was mostly on Skype. This was the pre-Zoom days. And then she had to go back to Kazakhstan for some month. We were there for a while. We were in Australia 2 years, and we came back to America. She had to finish school, so again, another 6 months separated. It's good, you feel some yearning. You feel some, looking forward to coming back and planning how I'm going to serve. When you're about to have a reunion with someone, you're planning, you're thinking about them. What am I going to give them in terms of loving exchanges? What service will I offer to them? What arrangements can I make for their pleasure? All of that feeling Vitrasara has for Krishna. It's been so long since I've seen him. This is how I'll serve him. These are the gifts that I'll give him. This is my anticipation. In the great little text, Bhakti Bhava, written by my spiritual masters, Holiness Devamrita Swami, which everybody should read at least annually. He says one thing here about this anticipation of longing for when I'm going to have this reunion. He says, let us discuss the excitement of anticipation in devotion. This is very important. You should visualize in advance how your senses are going to engage in Krishna's service. My ears are going to hear about Krishna in Bhagavatam class. My tongue is going to taste prasad and vibrate the holy name of Krishna. With my eyes, I shall stare at the deity form of the Lord. You should always feel this excited sense of anticipation. We should offer this feeling to Krishna. This is bhava. This is bhakti bhava, as is being described by Vitrasar here. You should offer that feeling. Oh, how am I going to serve Krishna? I haven't seen him in so long. I was just thinking, I haven't been to the temple in Gita Nagari in so long, but I hope to come on Monday for Lord Nityananda's appearance day. See the deities face to face, mano y mano. And I contemplate how I'm going to bow down, where I'm going to stand in front of their altar, and all the prayers that I'm going to say. I have a list of prayers that I like to do, a sort of cycle, starting with Gaur Nitai, and then some prayers meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Damodar, and then I do some prayers about Radha and Krishna together. And I plan that out. It's like it's something I anticipate doing. Sometimes I'll add a new prayer into my repertoire. What am I going to bring? Can I give something to the Lord? What could I bring? How can I serve? What will be my service while I'm there? I'm not just there to eat, but what service can I render? I'm talking about us poor fallen grihastas who are in the deep dark well of material existence and only sometimes get to do a little devotional service to Sri Sri Radha Damodar. We should be meditating and thinking, what can I offer? What can I serve? How am I going to please this person? Just like a wife whose husband is away is meditating, and just like Vitrasar is meditating on how soon his life is going to end, he's excited about it because he's ready for the opportunity to render direct service. So, these are very strong feelings. Speaking of stanan, which is milk from the breast, there's one more verse I want to share with you. Describing Lord Krishna as Sri Yashoda Stanandaye. Some of you may know from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that there was a devotee, well, he's not a devotee. Well, he's kind of a devotee. And his name was, I can't remember. Who was that person who would come up to Lord Chaitanya and Advaita Acharya and he would say that I have a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam that does not even touch the commentary of Sridhar Swami. Who was that? There's someone. And Lord Chaitanya was kind of offended by this. And he said to him, anyone who does not accept the Swami, meaning Sridhar Swami's essential commentary on Bhagavatam, anyone who does not accept the Swami, I consider to be a prostitute. Swami also means husband. And so he's implying that, you think that you know better than Sridhar Swami, who gives the Vaishnava commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, then you're just like, a wife who's rejected the husband. You're just like some prostitute. Not every wife who rejects the husband is a prostitute, obviously, but in this analogy, he's just saying, like, we are chaste to Sridhar Swami. And if you don't do that, I'm not interested in your commentary. And then, but this person, I can't remember his name, but he really wanted to impress Lord Chaitanya. He had some devotion in his heart. So then he came up to him sometime later and he said, one should not chant the holy names of Krishna, just like a wife doesn't speak the name of her husband out of reverence. Lord Chaitanya wasn't into that either. And then sometime later he came and said that I have a I have an esoteric description of the meaning of the name of Krishna. And even nowadays, you hear from some people, sometimes they have their interpretations of what the name Krishna means, or Hare, stuff that's not something that Srila Prabhupada said. So this devotee, he came up to Lord Chaitanya and said, I've got a new meaning of the name of Lord Krishna. And then Lord Chaitanya replied to him, a very important verse, very sweet, very simple. He says, Tamala Shamala Tvishi, Shri Yashoda Stanandaye, Krishna Namno Rudhir Iti, Sarva Shastra Vinirnaya. Lord Chaitanya quotes this. It's a verse from Nama Kumudi. He says, the only purport of the holy name of Krishna is that he is dark blue, like a tamala tree, and he is the son of Mother Yashoda. Literally, Shri Yashoda Stanandaye. He's holding on to the breast of Mother Yashoda. This is the conclusion of all the revealed scriptures. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want us to indulge in some esoteric interpretations, dissecting each syllable, Krish, and then Na, although there is some description like that. Lord Chaitanya is referencing Nama Kumudi, saying, all I know about Krishna, this is like his answer to this devotee, all I know about the holy name of Krishna is that he's dark blue, like the Tamala tree, and that he's attached to the breast of Sri Yashoda. I don't know anything else. He says in the next verse, Valabhabhata. Thank you, Taraka Prabhu, for looking it up. Valabhabhata was this devotee who was kind of challenging the Srimad Bhagavatam of Sridhar Swami, and he was actually trying to impress the Lord, but he was going about it thinking he's such an intellectual. And so Lord Chaitanya goes on to say, I conclusively know these two names, Shyamasundara and Yashodanandana. I do not understand any other meanings, nor have I the capacity to understand them. So I don't know anything else about Krishna except that he's Shyamasundara and that he's Yashodanandana. In other words, I don't want to hear your weird interpretations of what the names might mean. That's not really relevant to this Bhagavatam verse. It's just I saw the word stanyam, and I remembered Sri Yashoda Stanandaya, so I had to throw that out there. In the last verse of the chapter, text number 27, Vitrasar admits his contaminated position in bondage, saying, I'm wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. This word wandering is very important. Brahmata. We should know this word from the famous verse spoken by Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami also. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona. The jiva is wandering throughout this whole universe. We've been through every species of life, probably. Higher planetary systems, lower planetary systems. Maybe we were even once in the position of Brahma, experienced everything. We've tasted everything. We've seen everything. We've touched everything. Brahmanda Brahmite, just gone around this whole universe. Brahmite means to wander as a result of the fruitive activities. Wandering, we wander when we're lost. Despite the cute quote from Tolkien, it might work for some fantasy novel, but real wandering is when you just don't have a direction. You don't have any purpose. You don't have any goal. It's actually a tormenting position, just wandering around. I don't really know what to be doing with myself. So Vritrasura is saying, I'm wandering as a result of my fruitive activities. They've blinded me from the goal of my life. Fruitive activities, they're a big distraction, a bunch of smoke and mirrors that makes you forget what is the goal of life. So you just wander around, eating this thing, eating that thing, dying, being born again, over and over and over and over. So Lord Chaitanya says, Brahmanda Brahmite. Each jiva is going all around the whole universe, just wandering. forgetting what is the direction, just having no direction, no purpose, no drive. But Bhagyavan Jiva is the only verse I know of where the Jiva is described as Bhagyavan. Very, very fortunate. The very, very fortunate Jiva, soul, is the one who, though wandering and wandering and wandering, happens to, by the arrangement of the Lord or by their good fortune, a little devotion awakens. They meet a qualified spiritual master, a real devotee of the Lord, who can inspire them in devotional service. Guru Krishna Prasad. And they get that prasadam, that mercy. Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. And that Guru and Krishna together, they plant this little seed of devotion in the heart. And that seed of devotion grows and grows and grows and goes all the way up to Goloka Vrindavan. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. He plants the magic beans, right? And then he climbs up. And we can climb all the way up to Goloka Vrindavan, straight up to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Make some offering. So Vritrasura, he recognizes my lack of direction, my confusion is the result of my fruitive activities. You have to understand that fruitive activities are a bewilderment. It's like an intoxication. To be absorbed in one object, the fruit, the phala of the work, means you must forget previous objects. Ignorance is a prerequisite. You can't enjoy a particular object and also remember all sorts of previous objects. If you're going to get some new shoes, you can't be thinking about old shoes. When you get the new shoes, you forget the old shoes and all the other shoes. And you forget where it came from and who made it, and how much it costs, and what is the effect on the environment. To enjoy something requires to forget something else materially. To enjoy some fruitive activity, the result of that activity, the fruit, the karma phala, requires a forgetfulness of the hard work that went into it just to earn some money for this thing. It requires a forgetfulness of what sort of labor was involved by other people, or it requires a forgetfulness of who is without because I have this thing. There are limited resources. If I have something, it means somebody else can't have that thing. It requires a forgetfulness of all the different objects we've enjoyed in the past, in different lifetimes, in different bodies. Fruitive activity, karma pala, it is bewilderment. Vritrasuri sees that. That's why I'm wandering throughout this universe. That's why I've become so confused and bewildered of attachment to these fruitive activities. It's like a thick fog that covers the ocean, and now I can't see where is my port. Dear devotees, I don't have time to tell you about my sailing adventure through the Tasman Sea, 7 days on the ocean. But yeah, when there's a thick fog, you don't see anything. Just all you have is this 40-foot boat. You can't see anything. Just completely lost. Sometimes you have to just bring the sail down and wait. Just sit there and wait because you just have absolutely no idea where anything is. It's a surreal and strange experience. So Vritrasura recognizes that's the result of fruitive activities. It's like this thick fog that covers up ourselves and we don't see what is the direction. We just wander around. Therefore, he says, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. He recognizes that's the solution. Brahmanda Brahmite Konda Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad. You get some association, some mercy from the Guru, from a real devotee. Then we can become enlightened. And like the sun comes up, blasts away all that fog. So similarly, in the association of devotees, everything becomes so clear, isn't it? We're so bewildered, we're so frustrated, but when Guru Dev comes and you're sitting down in front of him at his lotus feet, suddenly it's all so clear again. Oh yeah, that's right. I should just dedicate myself to Krishna, right? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Vinoy. I'm just a servant of Krishna. Krishna Nitya Das. And then Gurudev is gone for a little while, or we're not associating with devotees so much, we're not hearing and chanting so much, and then we're so confused. What am I doing? Who am I? Where am I going? Oh! And then Gurudev comes back and it's like, clear as the sun. How could I have ever forgotten? So someday we'll become steady in our bhakti. Maybe some of you are. But Vitrasara, here he is. He's actually so Krishna conscious, but he's expressing that feeling. I just want to be in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. That's how I stop wandering. That's how the direction becomes clear. Anyway, then of course he says, my attachment to body, wife, and children and home. Does he have body, wife, children, and home? Maybe someone can remind me of the details of the story, but I thought Vitrasara just it was manifested, and then like the fight went on almost immediately. Does Vitrasara have body, wife, children at home, or maybe he's just speaking on our behalf? Someone can look that up. But still, the point is the same. He recognizes being in this material world becomes attachment to the body and the extensions of the body. It's just very natural. It always happens. So, in conclusion, if I may, we learn to yearn by hearing the examples of the devotion of these great devotees. For those of us who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for a little while, we should feel some real yearning. And when we indulge in reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, that was given to us by Srila Prabhupada, the Nectar of Devotion, as we're reading through the descriptions of the different rasas and the different bhavas and the different feelings, it's natural that we should feel a bit of resonance, attachment to a particular feeling and mood in service to the Lord. It's natural to start to identify with or remember. That's how I love Krishna. When I hear this description of this devotee, how they serve Krishna, what they're feeling, I remember a little bit. That strong feeling is very natural to me. That strong feeling is like it's something that I've felt before. This is what my spiritual master said. We read Nectar of Devotion. You start to remember what is your particular mood and relationship with Krishna. Of course, that's a very esoteric and intricate experience, not one that should be taken cheaply. And even if one is very aware of their constitutional nature, still, as described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, such a devotee who has realized their eternal relationship with Krishna, still externally, they should perform all of their duties and follow all the rules of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, setting the example for others. But it is not unusual to be remembering a certain feeling and to long for that feeling. Tishtan vraje, to long to follow in the footsteps of those pure devotee residents of Vrindavan. And that's what Vitrasara is describing here. Learn to yearn by hearing from the devotees who yearn for Krishna with strong feeling. Contemplate it, meditate on it, think of the analogy, and gradually, by the grace of the Lord, we will remember that strong feeling is the most natural expression of our heart. And it's not natural to express those feelings towards some object of this world. It's natural to express it towards Krishna. And even Vitrasara, who is an asura, even he can do it. So, dear devotees, we can do it too. That feeling is wanting to come out. It wants to. We just have to shed some of our attachment to this world, give up the fruit of activities which have bewildered us, made us lost and confused. Hold on tightly to the association of the devotees, in whose association the hearing and chanting about Krishna goes on continuously. And gradually we'll start to remember. Right? As it says in that verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kavano. It's actually the eternal perfection of every living entity. To have pure love of Krishna in their heart. It's already there. Shravanade Shuddhe Chitta Koryodoy. And by hearing, especially, by many ways of engaging in service, but especially by hearing, Shravana Adi, Shuddhe Chitta, one's consciousness becomes purified. Koryodoy, and then we remember, that's right. That's right. That's the natural expression of my heart. It's directed towards Radha and Krishna, not towards some object or some person of this world. So always hearing and chanting helps us to remember. Hare Krishna. Okay, I spoke for 54 minutes. I'm still alive. So I think I've satisfied my requirement. Any comments or questions or anything to share on any of these points? Yes, Mr. or Mrs. iPhone.
Haribo, it's Sina Palika.
Haribo, Prabhu.
Thank you. That was a very insightful class. I was wondering when you were speaking about your relationship with Anandini and how some long distance has helped, and then you were speaking about Vritrasura and his separation from Krishna. I'm just wondering when I hear about separation, it seems so far down the line, but I'm wondering if you could apply or what's something we can take away from these two examples that you gave for the level that we're at currently in our bhakti and our relationship to Krishna.
Maybe we're just not at that level, respectfully. It is, I mean, it's been described by Prabhupada and by our Gurudev as well, and Rupa Goswami. It's a very advanced feeling, this feeling of Vipralamba Bhava. Vipralamba is like a fire burning because of separation from the Lord. That's how Srimati Radharani feels. There's a description in the Chamachara Chandrika about how Srimati Radharani, she's with her girlfriends in the house of her so-called husband, Abhimanyu, like in this basement, basement sort of room. And she's feeling such burning in her separation from Krishna that even the other gopi girls, they're trying to like put sweet jasmine on her, jasmine garlands and chandan, and they put the chandan on her and it immediately just poofs into smoke, and they put the jasmine flowers on her to help her cool down, and they also just burst into flames because she's feeling separation from Krishna. I mean, that's Vipralamba. And it might be that we're just not at that feeling yet, you know? We feel separation from Krishna. And like I said, there's no urgency. It's like, oh, Krishna, take your time. I'm doing all right. I got a few distractions here. I got my toys that I'm playing with. If Krishna wants to show himself later, that's great. But the Vipralamba Bhava, the intense feeling of separation from Krishna, is a very advanced mood. I mean, it's even stronger than union with Krishna. And this is happening with Radha and Krishna all day, every day. Yoga and ayoga, union and separation. But we're here because we do feel some separation from Krishna, some longing to reunite with him. Certainly not as strong as Srimati Radharani is feeling, but there's a little something there. But I think for most of us, dear Prabhu, at our stage in bhakti, we should be longing for connection with Krishna. We should be longing for union. And if by some great fortune the Lord benedicts us, awards us the intense feeling of separation, well, then that's his prerogative. As you know, in that most famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, he awarded the gopis who served the Lord without reproach with separation. What is that verse? It's going to come back to me in just a second. Oh, I can't remember the Sanskrit. It's one of those verses I can't remember because I'm not qualified to remember. Anyway, he says about the devotees, about the gopi girls who are dancing with him at the rasa dance after he left them and then came back. He said that, oh, what is that verse? I can't remember the first line. Anyway, he says that because your service to me has been without reproach, because you've given up an attachment to husbands and wives and to husbands and families and children. Now, uh, I'll find it. I'll send it to you later, Dinapalika, Mataji Prabhu. The point is that Krishna rewarded the gopis with that feeling of Vipralamba Bhava. That was his reciprocation for their incredible service, to give them the most intense devotional experience. It's not something we can just cultivate ourselves. It's the Lord's prerogative if he wants to take our relationship to that very intense level. So my short answer is let's not worry about it too much. Let's try to connect with Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anything else from any of the devotees? Anything anyone want to share? No? Thank you, dear Prabhus, for tuning in, for listening to my mad ramblings. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. Now I'm really frustrated when I can't remember a verse. It really frustrates me. But I'll try to find it later. I'll send it to you. Napariyeham. You see? The point, all you have to do is keep rambling, and then it comes back to me. Napariyeham. Niravadya samyujam. Right? Svasado krityam vibudayushapiva. Yamaba jandojara geha shrinkala. Samvrishya tadva pratiyatu sadhana. This is what Krishna says to the gopis after rewarding them with that feeling of separation. I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. This is the last verse of the 32nd chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this might be a little bit over our heads. Hare Krishna. All right. It's 8 o'clock. Granted, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gita Gaura Premanandi. Haribo.